Oh, you already know that I'm gonna make a video on this. I haven't done like a tier, or not a tier list, like a reaction to hot takes in quite a while. So we might as well, right? Like I think it's my time to put my hat back in the ring on my opinions on some of these things, right? Let's go ahead and hop right into it. Apple is a very cool guy. You should also check him out, by the way. I'll definitely do that. I'm gonna leave his Twitter and YouTube in the description if you want to go follow him and stuff. He makes very funny YouTube content. That's what I will say on Dokkan. Tired of seeing people say that this guy is close to Beast in any way, shape, or form. The only time he can even come close to doing what Beast does is post revive for one single turn. He is a slot 2 outside of that turn. I will not lie and say I cannot really comment too much on this. That being said, if we just like here, let me just pause real quick. I just didn't want to take a whole bunch of time while I pull it up, right? The one thing that I will say that really just gives a lot of value to this Vegeta is specifically his revive, right? So this part right here where he can get 77% HP, it can definitely protect you in later turns of the fight, right? And then having it where it's just like always up after you get 5 or more attacks. Then you have it where the first turn he's guarding, he's got 50% damage reduction. Like, he's going to be getting a lot of those hits on that first turn. And then post turn 1, you're going to probably get most of those attacks on turn 3. So like turn 3 to 5 is when you should usually see this guy's revive up, right? So that protects the entire rotation, which is very similar to what Beast does with his active skill, right? But obviously Beast still makes it where everybody can attack. Evolution Vegeta just revives you, right? It's just delaying the inevitable, I guess. So I can definitely see the argument that Beast is just far away and like blows everyone out of the water, and I can't argue that. So I will say that yes, he is very good, but Evolution is still really good as well. Like you could say it's like 1 gap 2 3. I wouldn't say like 1 gap 2 3. Like I again, this is a global player making assumptions on this. So from what I've seen, Evolution Vegeta and MUI are insane regardless. These two are the they really were one of the worst anniversary LRs to release. Yeah, not on the character selection too much. I'll talk about that too. Like STR, Kaioken Goku, and Tech Vegeta should have just been Dokkan'S. There's no reason why they shouldn't have. They have really good animations, and the active skill for both of these units is pretty insane, both OST wise and just like obviously animation wise. And I feel like it was just wasted. It was all wasted. The character was wasted. The edges, everything was wasted, right? And it really does suck because they were really good. And then yeah, the fact that they weren't on the leader skills of the part 1 LRs, like come on. The whole point of in my opinion, the whole point of a part 2 is just to like further boost the part 1s. Like let's go ahead and look at the newest anniversary, right? Part 1 comes out, it's Broly and Gogeta. So pretty good, right? Then part 2 is Beast and Gammas. Both of those LRs directly helped out Gogeta to make like a superhero team, to make a movie heroes team, to make all of these teams, right? And obviously too, Gogeta and Broly work together on like a Super Saiyans team as well. So it's just like it really did suck. Like this was easily like one of the worst. I really liked Kaioken Goku too, like the animations, like I was saying. So it really was disappointing. People in the community have a big problem with adapting and changing their opinions about a unit. Prime example being Android 21 dropped on a bad environment for their 9th year anniversary, gave her events she was good in, but people still shout on her. Dokkan Genda Battle. The main issue that I have with her is just that she has a lot of issues that did not go away later on, right? Let's just go to Fierce Battle. have this pull up, she'll be somewhere like on the top of this. There you are. So there was a couple of things that I had issues with, right? She has the dodge chance, but it's only when super attacking in that turn. So it's just like AoEs are demolishing this unit, and a lot of the new events, especially on global, we go from Fusion Zamasu immediately into the Majin red zone and then have to fight Super Boo. So it's just like we're getting out of one AoE just stage that hurts to another AoE stage that just hurts. That being said, if you have, this is a very dupe dependent unit, but if you have this unit like at a high amount of dupes, the heal, the key to all allies, the leading of really powerful leader skill, recovering more HP, getting attack and defense from super attacking, having a really good chance of doing additional super attack, 70% chance twice, recovering more HP at the end of the turn. Like, put Android 21 on like Majin team, and you're just making the team that's already healing a bazillion health each turn heal a bazillion health more, right? Like she's a pretty good part for that. And then she also provides big bad bosses to something like physical Ulton, for example. So like if you run like Ulton and then Android 21 in SOT 2, you're doing like a decent amount of stuff. But I will say that, yeah, I was probably a little bit, I don't know. I can understand why people might have not liked Android 21 even when she did return, especially on global, right? And then like I said, she's a very dupe dependent unit. So if you just don't have a lot of dupes in her, she's just gonna look like 10 times worse. I have 2 dupes in her, and she looks very like okay. And I'm assuming like if you don't have any dupes, it's just garbage. And then if you have a lot of dupes, then it's pretty good, right? But you know what? I'll like it. I can understand. Yeah, attempt limiters should be removed from the moment you clear the stage for the first time, or at least make it go away. After a couple of months, having temp limiters as soon as possible. Cooler, probably at this point is very. So yes, I don't really see the reason why we need to have attempt limiters. I get it. Dokkan wants you to play every single day, but as a content creator, it hurts, and as a person who just wants to play the game, I'm assuming it's also just going to hurt. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I was facing Kid Buu, there was so many strategies that you could do to like just nuke the opponent, and I was just like, I don't want to do it. I just genuinely just could not just muster up the courage to fight Kid Buu and try using like all 6 of my attempts to nuke Kid Buu until I specifically got it done without it, right? Because I felt like I'm gonna waste all 6 attempts. I can't make a video, or I can't play this event again, and I have nothing, right? It's a very toxic thing. I still don't know why that's a thing. I'm gonna even get this one a retweet, because damn, I hate it. Dokkan Twitter's community doesn't know how to rate units from their details on release. Yeah, Goku Black was severely underestimated. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Yeah, that was definitely like a thing that people just don't understand. Because even like I've seen a couple of the truth videos, and every single time they never build dodge and the unit that loses damage reduction after every single hit. Like, people just don't know how to read as well. And yeah, Tech Piccolo was very insane to realize how devastating his power was, specifically because we didn't know how insane Giant Form was going to be at the time. Obviously the kit was still very good on this unit, but Giant Form just made it where he was literally #1. Legitimately, yeah. You could ever give a unit ever. I can see the argument for maybe active skill transformations, but it really just depends on how the mechanic is like with the restrictions of it is. But this is easily the worst because it's just so bad. I've seen so many people say this, and y'all are wrong. No other era of Dokkan is better than the one that we are in right now. You got so much team variety and so many units you can use in so many events. Whoever says the old Dokkan was better isn't a nostalgia merchant. The thing is, if we go and we look at some of the what's the easiest way to talk about what I'm trying to talk about? Let's go back. Let's go back to something like what? No. I want to go to all global campaigns. Let's go back to like when people usually talk about like 4th year, 5th year anniversary, right? So if we go ahead and look at something like the 4th year anniversary and talk about anyways, if we go ahead and look back at like 4th year anniversary and stuff like that, and we just look at like some of the EZA options at the time, let's just go ahead and look about that, right? This guy was really bad on release. For whatever reason, they decided to have it where he kept his chance to get like stats post EZA. Great chance of 40% attack but minus 40% defense. Instead, it was just great chance of attack and defense 60% when performing a super attack. And then Vegeta was like so much better, right? Where is he? Was he part 2? He might have been part 2. Yeah, he was part 2. But you guys see that, right? Like there's no other content other than that. We go to 4th year anniversary and it's literally just you summon, you get the character, you do like 1 or 2 super battle roads, and that's it. You can still do that. Like there's still super battle road stages that drop. There's still boss rushes that drop. There's still all of these, right? But it's just not as good, right? Like again, 4th year anniversary, which had, I think like one of the highest amount of Dragon Stones you could have gotten during one of the anniversaries. Well, either way, it's still an obviously its anniversary is always just going to be the top, right? But like if you look at something like that, and then we go to something like, okay, let's go to 6th year, right? Let's go to when. Here we go. No, well would that show? Okay, it does show. We go again, right? Sidebanner units. Let's just go ahead and say that sidebanner units are awful. The Tien, it was funny that the Tien and Roshi were like must run free to play units on the team. Same with just physical LR Roshi. So I could see the argument for that, right? But again, like we look at this and it's just like the EZAs are trash. And the part 2 LRs are bad. Okay, well, he was good. The part 2 LRs were just not up to the standard that they should have been. And then it's just like part 3 comes out and it's just like I like this EZA was hype, but I don't remember it like doing like anything special, right? But again, we look at something like that, right? And then we go to like present day. And let's just look at something like what's just like an easy thing to say. I guess let's look at that. Let's look at this, right? For part 1 of the Worldwide Download Celebration, regarded as one of the worst like worldwide download celebrations ever, we have a very decent LR who, well, I mean, like he's gonna age well regardless, just because of his damage reduction. We don't talk about them, right? But we look at all of this stuff, right? Not only do we get an LR guaranteed, which again wasn't done like 3 or 4 years ago, we look at this, right? The Redstone, which was insane, and we just didn't realize the value of it because we got super EZA. So now we literally get brand new EZA unit on release. Well, except for Uncle, because they shafted us. But most of the time, we get the brand new like Redstone unit on release through these, and it's insane that we could just choose something like, again, like Physical Kid Buu, and then he's insane. One of the best TURs in the game at the moment. And then we look at something like the EZAs, right? Agio Zamasu was insane for his team. Tech Trunks existed. And then we look at the Part 2 EZAs, right? The when they did the side banner units. And the side banner units were just like, there were so many. One, Future Gohan, insanely good value because so much damage reduction for the first 5 turns. And then the domain, right? Exists. Where is it? Yeah, in Future Gohan gets his EZA. Was it part? Oh, here it is. So they add all of these EZAs. We got, I think it was like 4, right? Was it 4? They're not gonna let me know, are they? Why must you do this to me? I think it was 4. Because it was Gawasu and Zamasu was the other one, right? And then it was int in Zamasu, that's what it was. And then we got, like I said, we got all of these EZAs, and all of them were pretty okay for the new red zone, or at least runnable in the new red zone, right? And it's just like stuff like that doesn't happen anymore, where we get like these batch EZAs and all of this, again, all of this content that we were able to do compared to so many years ago. Like, there's so much more to talk about, and it's insane. Like, dude, this is the first year that Super Dragon Ball Super Dragon Ball Heroes had decent units drop that were actually like usable for like a month or 2 later, right? So hell yeah, that's also getting a retweet. Dokkan sees hype in a different perspective from us players. A lot of people will say that Goku's first ever Super Saiyan transformation is hype than Vegito and Gogeta. They're right. Dokkan is picking the fusions for a big sell 9 times out of 10 without question. Oh yeah, just because it sells more. It is one of the best changes that they have done to the game, if not the best ever. The opportunities you have with the producer to put out an insanely hype part 1 and part 2 is a celebration is insane. It's also very good for free-to-play players. That's the thing that I've always had an issue with. And again, I'm open to hearing that I am wrong, right? I can understand the other side on this matter, but I hope people also see my side on this when I say that it also hurts players if the part 2 is better than the part 1. Because most free-to-play players will probably spend all of their stones on part 1, then part 2 drops, and Future Gohan drops. S-Tier Beast Gohan drops. And all of their stones are gone. Sure, you could be like, oh, well, you're supposed to save. Oh, Global Foresight. I guarantee if all of the global people were on JP, they would have summoned on Gogeta and been so upset that Beast Gohan dropped. Because no one has any stones. Like, you can save stones, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm not saying that, like, you definitely shouldn't restrict yourself to not just dumping all of your stones onto one banner. But again, it just feels, to me, it feels weird. It feels disingenuous to have a part 1 drop and then a part 2 unit is just better. AGL Vegito Blue drops and Future Gohan is just better. Gogeta drops and then Beast Gohan is just better than Broly and Gogeta combined, multiplied, right? It's overall more stones to spend on those types of it's overall more stones for people to spend in the celebration, because at least you'll have the part 2 discounts, at least you'll have the part 2 step up summons and all of that. So again, I can see the argument for this, but I personally cannot agree with it. It's the reason why I am happy to be a global player, because me personally, I would be pissed if Beast Gohan dropped and I put all of my stones into Gogeta and Broly, and then I only had like 400 stones compared to the 1,000 I saved up. If I only had 500 stones compared to the 1,200 I saved up, and that was me saving. But again, that's just how I personally feel. But I can see the argument that you can get more stones overall to spend on the banners, and the part 2s are far and away better now than they were on release. Because like when they did the part 2 LRs for Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta and Metal Cooler, the argument that like, oh, part 2 could probably still carry the hype only in animations, but now I definitely feel like that argument has come back, where like, yes, part 2 can continue the hype from part 1. Dokkan needs to start doing celebrations based solely on buffing villains teams, just like Legends did. At this point, it's laughable how much better the superclass teams are. Make this Dragon Ball Hero spot of the year a villain buffing celebration. That could be cool. Yeah, that could be cool. I can dig that. I'm trying to think of like what they could do. Maybe they could have it where it's just like they release like they use 2 units together, kind of like Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. They just release like Final Form Cooler and Metal Cooler, and then they release like they easy the other ones. I guess there is no other ones to easy because it's just the LRs at this point. But they kind of easy everything from the Cooler celebration. But I think that could definitely be pretty nice. I don't know how it would be having like all of these units drop all at once, because I don't want them to have to, because the Dragon Ball Heroes units have, you cannot say that they match up to the animation standard of like regular Dokkan'S, and I will never hear it, right? Like AGL Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker Vegito looked good, but he does not look good as like what's a good example for a TUR? He doesn't look good as World Tournament Goku, for example. He doesn't look like animation wise as good as that, because those have like direct scenes to go off of. I don't know if they would be able to do all of these options without at least wasting some of the animation potential. That would be the only thing I'm scared about for that. They should have add EXP bars to links, no more RNG link leveling, and big bad bosses taking 3 months to become a link 10. It should make people want to link more as well, but it shows the progress of a link being leveled up to via XP. I think that could be good too. Maybe they could just have a system where it's like, oh, you have whatever the chance is for a link to turn from 9 to 10 instantly, or if you don't have do it after a certain amount of times with the EXP, it'll just eventually go to it. Sure, it'll make moments where I'm like 2 XP away, and then I get the link 9 to 10 instantly, and I'll be mad, but I definitely think that they should implement something like that, where it's just like almost like I guess pity. Give me pity, please, for some of these links. The best game mode in Dokkan by a country mile. Being able to use some older units and also team while being able to utilize their debuff and debuff related passives is massively fun. Yeah. People harp on Ultimate Clash, but it gives you a lot of rewards. Gives you the opportunity to use some of these older units. Like it definitely does. It cooks. For this unit came from No. He isn't dodge or die against normals unless it's Tech Gogeta phase or fully built up into Kid Buu. You'll jump onto a bandwagon and blindly repeat what other people say. He's such an amazing unit. With dupes, his hidden potential makes it where his defense can look very, very mediocre at lower dupes, just because like he just gets such stats from hidden potential. He was one of the first Dokkan'S, so he has like the 7,000 stats from hidden potential, right? So for me personally, who only has him like at one dupe, he is kind of dodge or die against some of these normals. Hate what this link does to villains. Makes them practically pay for devs to give the link to them and they miss out on stats or just don't. When teams they miss the link, it's the same for Saiyan Roar, but even worse. Restricts units. Yeah. I definitely think that Big Bad Bosses is just in mind, obviously, once they do these characters for sure. I agree with the fact that every character deserves and is going to get a Dokkan'S or Dokkan'S, excuse me, at some point, but I think this people take it way too far. This only applies to filler monthly Dokkan'S. There are a lot of characters that do not deserve to be big celeb headliners. Yeah, but Bio Broly. Look at that guy. Aww. Dragon Ball Saga needs full on, yeah, but they definitely need to have it where it's carrying the hype though. Dragon Ball Saga needs a full on overhaul as a category. It needs to stop being treated as a free to play or a once in a blue moon unit category. Not to mention the dumb decision of calling it Boyhood Saga, no Majin or 23rd Q. It needs to start getting units added to it constantly. Yep. Dragon Ball Saga needs the respect that it deserves. I don't know why they just won't get it. Especially because Dragon Ball Saga, it obviously sells well in Japan. Because literally they dropped in Kid Goku, and he was like one of the fastest top grossings. And then Physical Path comes out, and they don't drop any sales, and something messes up with the payments, so no one can buy stones. And even with all of that, like, it didn't hit top grossing, but it was really close to hitting top grossing, right? Like, that doesn't happen for any other unit where it's like just some shenanigans happens. So it's just stupid. And I like Dragon Ball Saga. It's pretty cool. It has some nice moments. We need some Demon King Piccolo. I want Demon King Piccolo. Should have talked about that, Mr. Apple. We should all unite our forces in truth to play Uncharted. I gotta move up from my seat. Alright, the truth. I can't listen to. There we go. I got you, Apple. Don't worry. Alright, but we'll go ahead and stop there. It's funny. This is another just like hot takes one that we just agreed with everything. Was it just two? It was just the Dokkan'S and Carnival format, and then it was just like one more, right? Yeah, it was just two. So that's crazy. Out of 17 things, he only got two things that I couldn't personally agree with, but might not have been wrong. You know what? I'll give him a 0.5. I'll give him a 0.5 for both. Because like I said, this one needs dupes, so it's a 0.5, and this one needs this one is just my personal opinion on the thing. So I'll get this another point. So he got a 16 out of 17. I'll give you that one, Mr. Apple Dokkan. But other than that, like I said, make sure to go check out his channel. He's a very cool YouTuber, and you'll probably like his content if you like mine. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. How many takes did you guys agree with? Did you guys enjoy the video? As always, like, comment, subscribe if you did. Thank you as always, Will, for being a member. Hope you guys all have a great rest of your week, and hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.